Now, Wave News at 3.
This is Wave News at 3. I'm Jolles in for Myra and Sorry. We begin this hour with some breaking news. LMPD is investigating after a woman was raped in her own home by an intruder. Police say it happened around 2:30 yesterday afternoon in the Hurstbourne Acres neighborhood. That's just off of Taylorsville Road. The elderly woman told police she had a knock at her front door, and when she answered the door, a suspect knocked her down and raped her in her home. The suspect also stole things before running away. The woman was taken to the hospital for treatment. They say this is extremely rare in the area. They're saying to keep an eye out and call 911 if you feel unsafe. Well, turning now to the big story this weekend, the roaring sound of a jet engine is just a small taste of the spectacular show tens of thousands are going to experience this weekend. Well, thunder over Louisville in just a couple days, and we're getting a first look at some of the air show acts that you can expect. One major headliner, the F-16 Viper, arrived at Kentucky Air National Guard earlier this morning. We stopped by the facility today to talk to some of the pilots who will be showing off their incredible aerial maneuvers. In addition to the Viper, we'll also see performances from the C-130J Super Hercules, the Air Force Academy Jump Team, and so much more. We talked to some of the pilots on what you'll experience at the waterfront.
Loud noise and a lot of maneuvers. I mean, the Viper is going to be a very, very loud aircraft amongst several of the others that we've got, but a lot of really good aerobatic performances.
And he also said that with weather looking like it'll cooperate, all aircrafts will be able to perform at their top abilities, so it will not be a show that you want to miss. Well, speaking of weather, meteorologist Brian Good joins me now. And Brian, you and the weather team have been tracking this out for days now, and we just talked about this. You're saying it's looking pretty nice this weekend.
It looks good. I think we'll be in the lower 60s. The wind will not be as strong as last year, therefore not as cold, and it looks dry. So good news there. I'll have more on that coming up in just a few minutes. Now, in the short term, it's all about thunderstorms moving in tonight. We do have an alert date that'll be kicking in as we into late this evening. In fact, we get right into the timing. As we get into that 9-10 o'clock hour, a few isolated cells will begin to pop. It still looks like closer to midnight is when most of the action will begin to roll into the area and continue through at least the wee hours there of your Friday morning, with some severe potential, especially when it comes to damaging winds. So how do we get to that point? Well, first off, we've got the warmth in place. 82 degrees now in Louisville, 84 in Marion County. We don't have a ton of moisture yet, but that is starting to increase. You see the cumulus clouds developing back here into areas of Meade County and Breckenridge County, starting to feed northbound. Certainly that's already been the case into Missouri, and already see a couple warnings have been issued in Missouri along the system that is beginning to roll in. That's where your severe weather is ongoing now. Severe thunderstorm watch is out for St. Louis, good chunk of Missouri, in fact, into Illinois. As we evolve through this evening, this complex of storms will head our way, and there's also a risk that a few cells will try to pop in advance of it. Both work together as a team to create a line of severe weather to be approaching us, but should also be weakening as we head into the overnight hours. But not the entire line will weaken rapidly. Only sections of it will. We need to figure out, of course, where we lie within that line as it moves in, and that risk is at least on the table. That's the reason why we're going to have the alert day out for tonight. Make sure to stay weather aware. I'll have more on this on a time as far as an hour-by-hour setup on timing coming up here again in just a few more minutes, Ward.
All right, Brian, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, a man is arrested for a double shooting in Shively that left one man dead and a woman injured. Kevin Kennebrew is now facing many charges for Monday's shooting on Appleton Lane. Court documents say Kennebrew and two other co-defendants shot into the apartment before going inside and shooting the man and woman. Ronald Washington III was killed. Police say 10 people, including 4 young kids, were inside the apartment at the time. A witness there was able to identify Kennebrew, saying they had previously been in a relationship. He's now facing charges of murder, assault, and 10 counts of wanton endangerment. 2 teens are recovering after a shooting in the Shawnee neighborhood last night. LMPD got the call to Herman Street near 41st at 11:45 last night. That's near the Academy at Shawnee. Officers found 2 young men shot, a 19-year-old and an 18-year-old. They were taken to U of L Hospital. Both are expected to survive. Police don't have a suspect just yet. Anyone with information should call LMPD. The jury pool is slowly dwindling in the hush money trial involving former President Donald Trump. We started the day with 7 jurors. We're now down to just 5 after 2 were excused. One was excused because she didn't like her personal information being made public, and another was excused for comparing Trump to an infamous Italian prime minister. Lawyers have been combing through the social media posts of potential jurors, checking for signs of bias. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records, and he's required to be present at the trial, which could go on for 6 to 8 weeks. Well, turning now to Frankfort, Governor Andy Beshear has signed a new bill into law that will help speed along the process for medical cannabis in Kentucky. House Bill 829 moves up the licensing of medical cannabis for businesses to July 1st of this year, rather than 2025 when it becomes legalized. It also creates an Office of Medical Cannabis to administer the program. Senate Bill 47 first legalized it and begins at the start of 2025. Governor Beshear believes this new law will help ease that process for a smoother transition.
We have worked hard to create a safe system that limits or eliminates abuse while still providing relief to that veteran suffering from PTSD or individuals suffering from unbearable epileptic seizure after epileptic seizure.
Businesses can begin applying for a medical cannabis license beginning July 1st through August 31st. An application fee along with documentation will also be needed when you apply. Well, new at 3, U of L's new men's head basketball coach, Pat Kelsey, has only been in Louisville for a couple of weeks, and he's already giving back to the community. The new head coach was the keynote speaker for today's CoSare for Kids annual child abuse prevention luncheon. According to CoSare for Kids, the most recent National Children Maltreatment Report saw a drop in child abuse in Kentucky. And while the Commonwealth is still ranked 14th in the country, that's a significant drop from 6th in the previous report. During Coach Kelsey's speech, he talked about the passion the leaders of CoSare for Kids have for their cause.
This is a first-class deal in the cause that it serves and the thing that it's going to do to prevent and child abuse in this state is elite.
Later on in that speech, he announced he's donating $5,000 to CoSare for Kids. Well, still more to come here on Wave News at 3. A look back at a highly controversial Kentucky Derby. We sit down with John Bull, who will tell us all about the 2019 race that gripped the nation. Plus, you've probably heard someone tell you it's important to know your family's medical history. Ahead at 3, you'll hear a story that shows just how important that really is.